For Retro Sake here, we are going to play some golf on the NES. I welcome all of you to the stream. Hopefully you're having a wonderful Wednesday. I know I'm having a great Wednesday, not having to hear from you-know-who. We're going to try to enjoy some relaxing golf time. If any of you are new to the NES golf version, you're in for a real treat. I haven't played this in quite a while, and I'm going to be rusty, but it's definitely an enjoyable game. They even add some new elements like wind. The par is set up for sure, so you actually have some competition built in there. This can be a two-player game as well, so definitely adds some level of excitement to it. Grab a buddy, throw on some NES, pop in that golf cart, and off we go into the bunker. You do get to choose your golf clubs. I'm not the avid golfer here. I'm not a golfer at all. But I definitely would enjoy playing this with my cousin at my grandma's house because that was one of the few people that I ever knew that owned this game. I didn't own this game at my parents' house as a kid, but I did try to play it some. So the idea of the ticker at the bottom going back and forth is if you were to hit it before, it'll hook it one direction. If you hit it after the little highlighted area, it'll go another direction. I'm going to have to test it out here because I don't remember exactly what it is. I want to say a little bit before goes to the right. So I feel like that's the direction that it was going there. I couldn't be 100%. The arrows there, little triangles, are indicating that it's going up or downhill. So this would be saying that we're going downhill. I'm going to guess. All-time golf champion here that hit it in the bunker on the first shot. Go ahead and give this a best ability to stay near that, not that water, that flashing line. So one of the things that is very interesting about this particular game is that this game came out on the first title screen, if you didn't see, in 1984. Now, for most of us, I don't even know what I'm doing, obviously. I obviously can't seem to hit. Must make sure that my chat's set up here. Looks like it is. Hey. Let me know. Stop that. See if that actually works there. All right, so now we're in the water hazard. Obviously need to drop down some. It's a little better. Just a little. We're going to go ahead and hope for the best. That's not too bad. Just shanking it off of the green. Like, just kill it. All right, so this time, obviously, just a little tap. Tap it in. Just tap it in. Just from the hips. Thank goodness for Happy Gilmore, or I wouldn't know how I would get through this game. All right, so I believe I said before that it goes to the right if you do it before the dot, so we'll try that. And it does. It does hook it quite a bit. So we must have some wind in play here that I didn't pay. No, I just suck. So there you have it. Try to hit it. It was looking good. It was looking good. So I was told that I should be running this in the background somewhere so I know that it's actually working. So let me do that real quick here. And then we'll get right back to the golf action. I don't know if you've ever tried to type with gloves on before, but, you know, it doesn't work so well. That we do. All right, so we are live. It is working, so that's a positive. So what I was saying was that it states at the beginning opening screen that this game came out in 1984, but for most of us, we're well aware that the NES wasn't here or available in 1984, at least not in North America. And you would be correct. It actually wasn't released in North America until October 18th, 1985. And this game released with the NES. So it's definitely a nostalgic style game, given that it came out with the NES. At least, maybe not directly with, but around the exact same day and time. I don't know of any console combination kits or anything like that. This game is quite quiet. Could definitely go for some music right about now. Anything in the background. Hopefully at some point here, I'll be good enough with this streaming that I can set up a song or two in the background so we don't have to sit here in dead silence of me playing golf. But it is a fun game. Now, the Nintendo Switch golf versions out there are amazing. And this most recent one that was released, that Super Rush, that's a fun game. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's amazing, but at the same time, it's still fun. It's a lot more interactive than this is. Now, there was a lot of speculation when this game first came out about who the main character is here. And I mean, it's kind of hard to look at that way off and not think that that dude kind of looks like Mario. Like, and he does. I mean, he does look kind of like Mario. How did that go that much further with the iron? Like, I'm more than surprised by that. I definitely did not expect it to go that far. So we'll drop it down to the 4 iron. But what's amazing about my terrible gameplay in golf, what's amazing about the speculation that this was Mario is that Nintendo didn't even come out and publicly state that it was Mario until 1991. They finally decided to go with, yeah, that's Mario. Which is interesting because, like, who else would it be? Like, who else do we think that even remotely looks like? Like, who else were they going to get away with saying that was? Like, I'm just more than interested to hear who they think they could have said that was instead, or what the design idea was. Like, is that actually supposed to be his mouth there? Not a mustache? I mean, dude looks like he's all blue as can be. Is the hair blue too? Because given my color blindness, I can't always tell. I'm assuming. Jeez, oh Pete, it's plus 11. I'm awesome at this. We'll go see how far it goes. I mean, I'm bunker for retro sake here, I feel like, so I was expecting that to go in the bunker. 13 miles north is what it looks like it's going. So let's go down to... Yeah, we'll go down to 8. We'll just try to hit that straight on. You would think that I'm a caddy or something. Goodness golly. All right. Trying to get back into a decent score here on golf. Now, some of the more interesting things about the actual golf game itself was that this was developed by Nintendo's R&D 2. I guess that's their research and development team 2. Don't really know what else you would be calling that. And HAL Laboratories. And if you've been following Nintendo in any sort of way or watched some of my past videos, HAL Laboratories is involved in quite a bit of games. So HAL was on the ground floor, it would seem, with the NES coming out. And that's not a bad hook at all. Like, I'm not upset with that at all. Take that pitching wedge, drop that in. Oh, and then just biff it. Like, just completely throw it into the out of bounds area. Like, come on now. That's what I was looking for. That was terrible. Double bogey. So, one of the things that I believe would be new news to some people would be that there's an Easter egg in the very first Nintendos that were released, everything that was pre 4.0 firmware. This game was released. Go down to that. Bogey for retro sake. This game was released as an Easter egg in the firmware. So, here in a little bit, when I take a short break away from the game, I'll read you some information that I found out in case you never knew that this game was available on the Nintendo Switch with motion controls. Oh. This is about the time you take the golf club and snap it over your knee, throw it into the bogey water that I've been throwing everything else into that I shouldn't. Trying for a birdie, and now I'm just looking ugly. Bogey. All right. This is a very interesting course, I can say. So a little bit over past it, hooks it to the left. A little bit before it, we'll hook it to the right. We've got some wind going 5 miles per hour to the left. I'm going to guess that I need more like the 3 wood, maybe even the 4 wood. So that doesn't seem like a very far distance. I'm okay with that comparative to what I've been doing. All right, so pitching wedge, I mean, why not? Almost dropped it right in that hole. Par. I'm pretty happy with that par. So we're just going to rocket this one as hard as we can and try to keep it out of bounds. Maybe drop it down to, what do you say, 3 iron? Maybe 4. And then we want it to go to the left, so we'll go a little bit after. Oh, that was sweet. Look how close that was to going in. Like, golf is my game right now, I guess, after looking so ugly in the beginning. Can we make this? Can we make this on one try? I think we can. In the water for one try. I mean, that we can do for sure. We'll go back to the 3, and then it looks like we're straight on now. So, I mean, that's not too bad. I guess I probably should have used the 3 first. And then a little tap. Come on, look how far that rolled after the hole. Yet, I mean, I barely even tapped. Wait, just a little tap. I mean, we're going to hit it hard this time. Get ourselves a double bogey. So if you're watching and you would like to chat, please drop a comment down below so I know that you're watching and that this is working for you and everything. I'd really appreciate that. I've had trouble with my chat here lately, so I just want to make sure that I'm actually able to see it. You don't have to sit there and talk with me. I'm not requiring that for my streams. I call that out of bounds. Like, that couldn't have been the smallest, tiniest little tree. Come on now. Killing me. Guess I'll hit it that way more so it actually hooks. Golf always getting me down. Like, I am not the master golfer here, I can promise you that. I hit it into oblivion. It don't even exist out there. No man's land. How's that not out of bounds? That's close enough to out of bounds to me. Alright, so we'll give it a little tap. Almost in the sand. Almost in the sand. At least that's the way it looked like on the overlay. So we're going downhill. That's amazing to me that is that. Okay, so I'm not completely aware of this, but I would guess that the more prominent backwards alligators are meaning that it's a hard drop down, because why else would it have like hooked so quickly down as I hit that. I'm gonna guess that I can't make it that far, but I'm never gonna know if I don't just try. Adding 2 strokes and being back that far. And this is a terrible spot. Like, how did they choose that to be my spot? Like, who's picking this? Like, anybody else know why it was put there? Telling you. All right, so we're gonna go 4. I don't know. I really don't. And then before. Three and before. I feel like I was only 2 ticks in from the last one, yet it was so much worse. Like, goodness. Get up there. I think we're just gonna put that close. I guess I put it off there. I don't know. Just one side of the green to the other. Now, see, these alligators are a little bit less prominent, so I'm going to guess that it doesn't go downhill as fast. It's a really sketchy process to figure out there. Because it's still downhill, but nice shot. Ooh, I'm going to say 7. Anybody else want to stop in? Tell me which one they think I should use here. 7? 7? I don't know. I don't know. Big win, so I'm going to go 6. All right. Ugly. Come on. I mean, this is almost my real life golfing right here. Like, if I was the real life golf, this is the way it would look. Like, terrible. It's a bogey. Can't stay long, but just stop by. Thank you, guy with 2 names. I appreciate you coming by. I actually can see the chat. That's so helpful. I really, really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I at least figured out what I was doing wrong on my OBS side of things. And, I mean, I can at least see the chat there, but it was all in how I was starting. And since you're here right now, I'm going to go ahead and go through the information that I was talking about before. So I was telling everybody that when they released the Nintendo Switch, that they left this game in particular as an Easter egg in the firmware for any Nintendo Switch 4.0 firmware and before. So it says that you have to go into the home menu on the Nintendo Switch, and you have to set the clock to July 11th, which is the anniversary of Iwata's death. Satoru Iwata. So you set it to July 11th, and then the user moves the Joy-Con controllers to imitate the direct action that Iwata popularized during his Nintendo Direct. This version exclusively has the options for motion controls. So I don't know what all that means. I give you that information like blah. Like, I've never tried it. I just found the information before throwing the game on, and I didn't realize that there was an Easter egg hidden in the Nintendo Switch of this game. So I guess if you go and find what Iwata's popularized motion was during his Nintendo Direct. You'll be able to find this game hidden in your Nintendo Switch. So if anyone out there is interested in playing this game on their Nintendo Switch, I guess it's out there and available. I found that interesting because, like, usually things like that I've heard from somebody before, and I've never heard anybody talk about that before. So maybe I'm just behind the curve, which is atypical for me. So, oof, ugly. Some courses don't seem to be laid out the same as others. Like, why in the world would it set me there? Like, that makes no sense. Like, every once in a while, the placement that they put me at makes no sense at all. Like, why did I get the ball set there? Like, sure. I'm going to try to get as close as I can over here. Drop this down to an 8. Not too bad. Yeah. Guy with 2 names. If you do that sequence, the game is free. It's hidden in the firmware. Kind of like Jeep has all these like little Easter egg Jeep symbols and stuff throughout it and everything. It's kind of, if you look for it hard enough, or you do something, you take apart something and you find it, all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, there's a little Easter egg. It says, I mean, now I got this information off of Wikipedia, so I do know that I'm laying very heavy relevance to Wikipedia, which can be very wrong at times. I get that. But the way that it described it, saying that you go in and change the clock and everything, it just sounded accurate. I mean, it sounded to me like it was literally there. I mean, they state that it has to be a pre 4.0 firmware Nintendo Switch. I'm going to guess, like, this particular Nintendo Switch that I have is what I would say is a pre 4.0, because I got that Nintendo Switch there. I got that whenever the Nintendo Switch was like maybe a month old. I got lucky. I went into Best Buy, and at that time I was driving for work, so I was able to just pretty much stop in when I had the free time. And I would stop in Best Buy maybe like once a week and just ask certain things, like if something was released and I wanted to see if it was in or not. Not bad, not bad. And I went in and asked them if they had a Nintendo Switch. And the lady laughed at me at first. She was like, you wouldn't believe it, but somebody just canceled like 10 minutes ago. Do you want it? I was like, I asked for it. Yeah, I want it. Like, yes. So I walked out with one of the very first Nintendo Switches that were released just based on luck. Like, I didn't have any pre-order set up or anything like that. And don't worry about you said you would suck at this game. Like, I suck at this game. I suck at most of these games. I still play them and try to have fun with them, but my cousin, a valedictorian who played golf, used to rock me on this game all the time. So it ticked me off when we'd be over at my grandma's and he would just stomp me in this game. Mostly because I feel like he understood better the mechanics of checking the wind and things like that, where I didn't even know what the difference between a 1W and a 5I was. I didn't even know what that meant. So we're going to drop this down to 6 iron and then try to hit it hard. I want it to hook to the right, so it needs to be before. I don't even know how that's not in the sand. And this pitching wedge, man, like, it is no joke. You got to tap real fast. I almost dropped that right on in. And then the arrows indicate which way the plane of the field is supposed to be going. I I tried to say earlier that I thought it meant like when those V's were really prominent, that it meant that it was going down hard, but I haven't been able to prove that at all because I've had some that were very faint and it didn't seem to make any difference at all. It's too specific to be a lie. Yeah, I would agree. That's what I felt. So once again, it's got to be a pre 4.0 firmware. You have to set the clock to July 11th, and then you have to imitate the direct action that Iwata popularized during his Nintendo Direct. I'm going to guess that he did some kind of particular movement. I don't know, like you got to take the Joy-Cons off and like dance around or something. I really don't know, but I will say this. I am going to be trying it after I'm done with my 18 holes here. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm on 17 right now, I believe. But I am going to try it. And if it works, then I'm going to put the Nintendo Switch up on here, and then we're going to play it on the Nintendo Switch just to see. Because I definitely do not have it on my Nintendo Switch currently. But it states that I have it as an Easter egg, so just got to look for it. And I always, like, am sitting here at the tee trying to remind myself, before the flashing line, it'll hook to the right. After the flashing line, it'll hook to the left. Should be pretty easy to remember. I mean, before, that way. After, that way. But for some reason, man, I sit there for like 5 minutes staring at it going, which way did I want this to go? Which way am I facing? I'm going to definitely putt that. Oh. Man, I know you ain't been watching since the beginning, but like, how many times have I been within 3 inches of the hole? Like, can't just drop one in? Not have to come up here and putt? All right, so we are on the 18th hole. And I'm going to want it to be before. See, this is why my cousin was better. He was just smarter. He understood the game better than I did because he was smarter. I believe that now. Good for him for being smarter. Oh, come on. A little less on it. Well, now I feel like it put me in a different place. I feel like that's a different place. Whatever. Wow, that was weak. Weak sauce. Man, I think I could do that with a pitching wedge. Yeah. Not too bad. So see how, like, the V's, I called them backwards alligators, are, like, a little less prominent here? That's just my assumption. I do have the box and the manual for this, so maybe later I'll break out the manual since I'm going to be trying it on the Switch and see. It says, I have a feeling it's the motion you do in the new Mario Party. It's like a swinging thumbs up. Okay. I appreciate that information because I was going to have to look up Iwata's popularized direct motion. I didn't know what that was, so that sounds easy enough to try. See if we can drop this in. Oh, so lucky. So lucky. Well, I was only 31 over, so, you know, terrible. I at least had some fun playing the game. Now, everyone has some information to try to check out if you have an earlier on Nintendo Switch. You can see if you've got that Easter egg hidden in your Nintendo Switch. I'm going to try it here after the stream, see if I can figure it out. If it's there, I'm going to throw it back up on here, and we're going to play it on the Nintendo Switch also. Well, for retro's sake here,